Hello there. In this lecture, let's study about what kind of constitutional changes happened with the introduction of GST in India. But before that, let's see about the 7th schedule of our Indian Constitution. It provides for 3 types of lists, namely the union list, state list, and concurrent list. On the items that are present in the union list, only the union government can make laws. On the items that are present in the state list, the state government can make laws. On the items that are present in the concurrent list, both the union government and the state government can make laws. But whenever there is a difference of opinion or whenever there is a dispute, the central made law will override the law that is made by the state government. So now comes the concept of GST. The major question initially was where the GST has to be placed, whether it should be placed in the union list, whether it has to be placed in the state list, or whether it has to be placed in the concurrent list. Now the whole idea of GST is unique. The principle that we have used is one nation, one tax. So it cannot be placed in union list because once it's placed in union list, states will feel that their financial autonomy is completely taken away, completely compromised, because union government can decide upon what laws has to be passed or what laws have to be made regarding the GST. Now it can be placed in the state list because it violates the whole idea of one nation, one tax, because every state government would want to have its own tax rates in order to protect its own revenues or in order to raise its own revenues. And now it can be placed in the concurrent list as well. So finally we have decided that the GST has to be placed in the constitution itself. So we have amended our Indian constitution and we have inserted article 246A. It's very easy to remember every even digit. 246A. So 246A provides for the GST in India. And the other constitutional changes that had to be incorporated with the introduction of GST includes the amendment of the 7th schedule. Some of the entries of the list had to be amended, namely entry number 92 and 92C of union list and entry number 52 and 55 of the state list. 92 entry of the union list provides for the tax on the sale and purchase of newspaper and on the advertisements that are given in the newspaper. So basically, if there is a newspaper and if we purchase a newspaper, if we sell a newspaper, what tax has to be levied in this transaction was initially determined by the central government. The state government had no say over that. And in 92C, it provides for the tax on the services. So service tax was something that was decided by the central government alone. But with the introduction of the GST, all these taxes were subsumed into GST, meaning the central government had to lose certain financial autonomy, because now the central government alone does not have rights to say how much tax has to be imposed on the sale and purchase of newspaper, how much tax has to be imposed on the advertisement that are given in newspaper, or how much tax can be levied as a service tax and all. So this is with the changes that are made in the union list, and changes were also made in the state list in entry number 52 and entry number 55. Entry number 52 of the state list provides for the tax that is to be levied on the entry of goods into a local area. Just imagine a truck which has all the chocolates that is entering into a local area. So now how much tax has to be levied on this is something that is to be decided by the state government, and this provision existed before GST was introduced. And now the whole idea of the state government having the right to impose the tax was completely taken away with the introduction of GST. And then entry number 55 of the state list was also amended, where the states had the right to decide upon the taxes on the advertisements which are published in the sources other than newspaper, television, or radio. So, with the introduction of GST, I hope you're now able to notice that both the central government and the state government had lost their financial autonomy to some extent. So that is it with the concept of the main constitutional changes that the introduction of GST had brought.